Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're rediving into a topic that has been buzzing in the developer community, the new Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Anthropic claims it's their fastest and most intelligent model yet, even outperforming their previous top model, Opus. But the real question on everyone's mind is it better than the reigning champ GPT-4, specifically for coding? Let's find out. First, let's talk about what makes Claude 3.5 Sonnet so special. It's designed to be blazingly fast, twice as fast as Claude 3 Opus. For developers, this means less time waiting for code generation, debugging suggestions, or explanations. Speed is a huge quality of life improvement. Imagine you're stuck on a tricky bug. Getting a potential solution in seconds instead of a minute can make a world of difference to your workflow. But speed isn't everything. What about quality? Anthropic has released some impressive benchmark scores. On a graduate-level programming benchmark, Claude 3.5 Sonnet solved 64% of problems, a significant jump from Claude 3 Opus's 38%. This suggests it has a much deeper understanding of complex coding, logic, and problem-solving. It's not just about spitting out boilerplate, it's about genuine reasoning ability. To really put this to the test, I decided to run my own experiments. I threw a series of coding challenges at both Claude 3.5 Sonnet and GPT-4 Omni. These ranged from simple algorithm problems, like reversing a linked list, to more complex tasks, like setting up a full-stack application boilerplate, or writing a Python script for data analysis with complex dependencies. Let's start with a classic data structures problem. I asked both models to write a Python function to find the lowest common ancestor in a binary search tree. Both GPT-4 and Claude 3.5 Sonnet produced correct, efficient code almost instantly. GPT-4's code was clean and followed standard conventions. Claude's code was also perfect, but it included slightly more detailed comments explaining the logic, which could be really helpful for junior developers or someone learning a new concept. A small win for Claude here on the educational front. Next, I moved on to something more practical: web development. I asked both models to generate a simple React component with state management using hooks, styled with Tailwind CSS. Again, both performed admirably. GPT-4 gave me a very standard functional component that worked right out of the box. It was exactly what you'd expect. Claude 3.5 Sonnet also produced a working component, but it took a slightly more modern approach, using a couple of newer React patterns. It also seemed to have a slightly better grasp of Tailwind CSS utility classes, creating a more polished-looking UI without any tweaks. I was genuinely impressed by its nuanced understanding of front-end frameworks. Where things get really interesting is with debugging. I fed both models a snippet of buggy JavaScript code with a subtle off-by-one error in a loop. GPT-4 quickly identified the error and provided a corrected version. It was fast and accurate. Then I gave it to Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Not only did it identify the exact line with the error, but it also explained why asterisk. The error was happening in the context of the loop S logic and suggested two alternative ways to fix it, explaining the pros and cons of each. This deeper level of analysis is where Claude 3.5 Sonnet really starts to shine. It's not just a code corrector, it's a coding tutor. But the biggest game changer for Claude 3.5 Sonnet might be its new feature called artifacts. When you ask Claude to generate something like a website design, an SVG icon, or a chart, it doesn't just give you the code. It renders the result in a separate window right next to the chat. This is huge. You can see your UI component come to life in real time. You can ask for changes, make the button blue, add more padding, and watch the artifact update instantly. This creates a dynamic, interactive workspace that feels incredibly powerful. GPT-4 doesn't have a directly comparable feature integrated this smoothly. You'd have to copy the code into a separate environment like CodePen to see the visual output. The artifacts feature alone makes Claude 3.5 Sonnet feel like a more complete development environment. Let's talk about a more complex real-world scenario. I tasked both models with converting a legacy codebase in old Python to script to modern Python 3, complete with type hints and updated library calls. This is a notoriously tricky task. GPT-4 did a decent job. It handled most of the syntax changes correctly, but stumbled on a few deprecated library functions, requiring manual intervention. Claude 3.5 Sonnet, on the other hand, handled the conversion almost flawlessly. It correctly identified and replaced the deprecated functions with their modern equivalents and even added docstrings and type hints that made the new code much more readable and maintainable. Its ability to handle context and understand the evolution of a language and its ecosystem seems superior. So, what's the verdict? Is Claude 3.5 Sonnet better than GPT-4 for coding? The answer is nuanced. For raw general-purpose code generation on common problems, they are both excellent and incredibly close in quality. You really can't go wrong with either. GPT-4 is a proven workhorse that's deeply integrated into many developer tools already. However, Claude 3.5 Sonnet has some clear advantages that make it incredibly compelling. Its speed is a noticeable improvement. Its deeper reasoning and explanatory abilities make it a better tool for debugging and learning. And the artifacts feature is a revolutionary step forward for interactive development, especially for front-end and visual tasks. It's not just a chatbot that writes code, it's an integrated development partner. If you're a developer who values speed, needs help understanding complex code, or does a lot of front-end or visual work, I'd strongly recommend giving Claude 3.5 Sonnet a try. It feels like a glimpse into the future of AI-assisted programming. For now, ID. Say it has a slight edge over GPT-4, specifically in the areas of user experience and interactive development. The competition is heating up, and that's fantastic news for all of us developers. The tools are getting better at an incredible pace, and Claude 3.5 Sonnet is leading the latest charge. What are your experiences? Have you tried the new Claude model for your coding projects? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comparisons. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the latest tech. I'll see you in the next one.